Hey YouTube, what is up? All right, so just thought I would put together a quick little video, kind of a preview of sorts, and then kind of discuss one of the things that both Josh and I talked about. Well, actually there was two main things that we talked about when we were out in the elk woods, kind of discussing things that we wanted to work on this year. First, we wanted to work on our arrow setups. So I'll talk a little bit about that in just a second. Second is when we were talking about arrow setups, we said we wanted to focus more on arrows than bows. So the other thing that we talked about was that if we weren't gonna focus on bows, if there was an improvement on one of the platforms that we shot over the last year, and we both agreed that if there were improvements made to the Stealth Mach 1, the PSE Stealth Mach 1, that both Josh and I would be interested in seeing what those improvements are. So, lo and behold, this is what happened this year. So, both Josh and I decided that if you've seen any of our content, you've noticed that we were really impressed with the Stealth Mach 1. And they have made some improvements on this, and I'll leave those to Josh. Like I said, that's a preview of what we'll be working on. I can't wait to put this thing together and start putting it through the paces. I can't wait to see what Josh comes up with a build video. So that will be forthcoming. And yeah, it's kind of funny how things turned out. We decided to actually shoot tack the first time this year, and it was something that happened unexpected for me. I mean, I'd seen that at some of the tack events that John Dudley was at, and he was taking time to talk to people and just interacting. And to tell you the truth, Josh and I, on the last second, got in on the last day of the last event of any of those tacks, and we shot tack Snowbird, and we had some time to, and if you haven't seen that video, scroll through and find that interaction that we had with John Dudley. It's not all on there, and I was really impressed with the time that he took. And like I said, he'd been shooting events throughout the summer. We were just lucky enough to be on the last day, probably towards one of the last groups that actually went through and shot. That aside, seems like a really genuine guy, really genuine person. We like to support things like that. So yes, we'll talk about this in the future. So stay tuned.